Welcome to this episode of the K&A Football Podcast. It's week 11. We're going to be giving our pick'ems for all the games for the week. Should be a fun time. This is K&A Football.
So, Caden, I woke up this morning, and, well, first off, I really didn't want to wake up this morning.
Neither did I.
It was an early day. So I didn't want to wake up. I was like, man, it's really cold outside. I really don't want to wear one of my baseball caps because my ears will be cold. So I'm going to don to all of the viewers Austin with the beanie. And I was like, this is going to be very revolutionary. No one's going to see this coming. Caden's going to show up and he's going to be like, oh, we're in a beanie or something like that. And then as soon as you pull in, I see that you're wearing a beanie also. Today, a beanie kind of day.
You know, I woke up today. Well, first off, we and you were at the Lake High School football game last night, which, I mean, they made it very far. Farthest they've made it since like the 90s. So it was a great season for them. They did lose in the regional finals, but it was a great season nonetheless. But last night was a very, very cold game, and we were out.
Felt like 16.
It was so cold. Everyone was bundled. Everyone had hats. It was the first time I'd worn a beanie in a while, and I was like, this is actually like kind of nice, kind of comfortable. And I woke up this morning, and I was cold. I was just like, I don't want to be up. And I was like, I'm gonna put on a beanie. It's a Panthers beanie for football. I just have it. And on top of all of that, my hair is stupidly long right now. I mean, not crazy, but like I need a haircut, and I didn't also want to have to like fix my hair because it looked like, because I just woke up. So I put the beanie on. I was like, this will do. And I went. So I know I was surprised when I saw you get out of your car. I was like, oh man, Austin's got one on too. But
it's a beanie kind of day. It's cold.
Yeah, mine's better. Mine's got the little puffball on the top.
That's true. I almost wore my Ohio State one with the little puffball, but I decided to just go plain gray. Well, anyway, without further ado, let's jump into our pick'ems for week 11.
First,
never mind.
We got a recap Thursday night's game. So the Titans beat the Packers 27-17. We both thought the Packers had changed. You know,
Turn over a new leaf.
Yeah, we thought that they could just run the ball and win games, which they did against the Cowboys, and they didn't against the Titans. So the Titans offensive coordinator called one of the most fun games that you can call and watch. Derrick Henry threw a touchdown pass. They did another trick play where Tannehill went and he turned, acted like he was yelling at the sideline, and then they snapped it to Derrick Henry again. He called so many fun plays that the next day he was arrested. So
that's so true. Yeah, that is legitimate. He
that is
got
legit.
arrested for a DUI.
No, it was for too many plays disposing.
Oh yeah. It was for obliterating the Packers.
Yeah.
That's why he got arrested for. Yeah. So Packers, you're dead. Aaron Rodgers, after the last game against the Cowboys, said the biggest thing is we're not dead. Well, congratulations, you are now dead. I think the Lions are now in second place.
Are they really?
In the NFC North with that loss. Because I think the Lions and Packers now have the same record, but the Lions have the tiebreaker on them. Wow. So that puts them in second, which is kind of crazy. That means Bears are last, which is kind of unfortunate, but don't worry.
They'll be there in
Green Bay will be there very, very soon. Not much more to say. Good job, Titans, on figuring out that all you need to do is run the ball. You knew that from day one.
Mm-hmm.
Packers, maybe you need to take some notes because I feel like you'd win a lot more games.
Yeah, I think Titans, but for sure, played their most complete, like just best game of the season for sure. I mean, it wasn't just like this is so stupid. How are they winning this game?
Yeah, Tannehill was throwing pretty well.
Tannehill was throwing very well, which makes me so mad because in my fantasy league, I was playing someone and he has Tua out on a bye, and I'm like, all right, this is his best player's out. And what does he do? He puts in Tannehill, and I'm like, oh, let's go. Tannehill goes and gets him like 24 points, and I'm like, of course.
Of course he does.
Of course. But yeah, now we'll jump into this week's pick'ems.
This week's K&A pick'ems.
Real pick'ems. Okay. So the first game. Oh yeah. We would like to reference.
Oh my goodness.
So I know Debbie is probably watching the live stream right now, and so please don't fire up my phone and get mad. But somebody, we're not going to say name, forgot to do the slideshow.
It was Caden.
It was Caden. We'll say names.
I was a little busy.
I'm not taking the blame.
I was a
for this
little
one.
busy this week, so I forgot to do the slideshow. And so, first of all, the slideshow it takes a minute to make. And then all the teams, it was very hard to find some of the teams on the previous slideshow. Like, they just weren't there. And so I had to Google the teams, and then, like, the transparency clearly did not show up. So some of the teams have a white square behind them, which will be fixed, obviously, next time when Debbie shows me how to do it the correct way. So I'm just going to preface, it doesn't look as appealing as sometimes. But that is because Debbie is out of town for the 90th time in the last 2 weeks.
Let's give a hand for Debbie for all of you.
No, let's not.
No hands for Debbie. Debbie's always out of town.
Debbie is out of town this week, was
Debbie's
out of town
never
2
here.
weeks ago. Will probably be out of town next week and the next week.
Debbie doesn't actually live here. We live here now.
Seriously.
This is our basement. Anyways,
But yeah, it's really the actual game. Bears, Falcons.
this one is actually a little tough to pick.
Mm-mm.
I'm not gonna lie, because the Bears have been playing very good offense, but their defense has been very terrible. The Falcons have been putting together a very good offense, but their defense is terrible. And so what you're going to have is it's just going to be which offense can score more points.
It's going to be like 65-60.
Yeah, it's going to be like the Miami game,
Mm-hmm.
the Miami Bears game. Like, what's going to happen here? At the end of the day, gotta go with my boy in the NFC North, Justin Fields. I'm going to say the Bears are going to win this one, but it's going to be close and very high scoring.
I agree with you in the fact that the Bears are going to win, but I think that they'll run away with it. Their defense doesn't look good, you're right, but their offense looks like phenomenal. But then the Falcons, on the other hand, their offense hasn't looked great. Mariota's really struggling. Last week against the Panthers, he looked...
But the Panthers have one of the best defenses on paper.
That is true.
The Bears
On paper.
on paper
In the league.
Yeah, okay.
No, but I know what you mean. But like, I'm not high on this Falcons offense anymore. They don't utilize Kyle Pitts. Yeah, they got
Really
Patterson. They got Patterson back, but he hasn't done much. I mean, and Mariota, he's just getting worse and worse as the weeks go by. I'm pretty sure, in my opinion, I think in the next 2 to 3 weeks they'll start Desmond Ridder, their rookie quarterback who they drafted. They'll finally put him in the start. So I think that their offense is just really skidding. And the Bears are just getting better and better every week with Justin Fields. And I think that the Bears will win this one pretty soundly.
No, we'll see. I'm not going to complain if the Bears win, but we'll see how close it is. So this game was supposed to be played in Buffalo, as I'm sure most of you
The Bills
know.
and the Browns.
Browns,
Yeah.
thank you. This was supposed to be at Buffalo, but Caden very kindly decided to switch up the order.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
yeah, you're right.
So this is supposed to be at Buffalo, but, it's Buffalo, and they get some snow sometimes. And so there was supposed to be 6 feet of snow in the stadium. And if you haven't seen what the stadium looks like currently, there's like 3 feet of snow in that
It is
stadium.
awful. It would have been so cool to see a game there.
It would have been very cool to see a game played there. I don't know how they would have got all the snow out for the fans to sit in there.
No, the seats were, you couldn't even see a
Seats
seat.
were full.
Yeah.
You would have sat in the snow for 4 hours. So it's a very cool look right now. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. It's super awesome. So the NFL decided that, hey, you know what? We're not going to play this game in Buffalo. We're going to give the Browns at least a little bit of a chance, and we're going to play this one in Detroit.
What?
You don't think that's a chance?
No, I think if it's played in the snow, the Browns have a huge advantage. They have the best running game in the league.
I completely agree. Yeah, I agree with that, but there's no way they were going to play in that snow ever. So it was either going to be postpone the game and still play it in the Bills Stadium with no snow, or move the game to another facility. There's no way they're playing in that snow.
They've played in a lot of. I mean, obviously, this
Not
is a
that
record. Yeah,
snow.
this is a record amount of snow. I think if they did play in the snow, the Browns have the major advantage there because
I agree that
the Browns have incredible run game. Their pass game is a little like suspect, but their run game is like you could say the best in the league. And then the Bills, on the other hand, their pass game is you could say the best in the league. So it's like you can't pass in a game with snow like that. So I understand why they moved it because like it was a record amount of snow for a football game. It would have been like no one would have been able to move more than 3 miles per hour in the snow. But it would have been super cool for anybody watching the game because like a couple years ago, it was the Bills and the Colts. I played in the snow game. There was like maybe a foot of snow. Like it was like to their ankles. Like it was a lot of snow, but it was still really. It wasn't near as much as this, but it was still really cool to watch. I can't even imagine how cool and awesome this would have been. But yeah, they did move it to Detroit, so it's in the dome now.
Yeah,
which
sucks. Domes suck if they're not going to be opened where, the players get snowed on, but the fans stay dry. But that's it's a conversation for another time.
Yeah.
But either way, unfortunately, I'm not rooting against the Browns. Okay, I want that to be absolutely clear.
No,
I'm gonna be absolutely clear. I'm not rooting against the Browns.
Yeah, just because you pick a team doesn't mean you're rooting for them.
I'm not rooting against them because I would love to be wrong. But I really, especially not if you're playing in a dome where all conditions are perfect, not with any sort of rain or snow where you are forced to run. I have to go Bills because you're gonna make me want to change my pick.
I just had to shake your hand real quick
because
you finally came to the senses of this podcast. My homer picks every single week are not working, and I'm gonna be at a Waffle House. I should probably start going.
Be at a Waffle House anyways. I should just pick the Browns, but I'm not going to because I already said the words Bills. So I'm going to pick the Bills because at the end of the day, they just re-released the week 10, like through week 10, who's most likely to make the Super Bowl. And the Bills are at 16% along with Kansas City. So it's, it's like, yeah, the Bills are good. Mm-hmm. So you have to go Bills.
Yeah. I think if it's played in the snow, it's a lot tougher of a decision because the Browns have that running game. But since it's in Detroit, in the dome, no weather involved whatsoever, the Browns have a very pathetic defense, and the Bills' offense is, like, you could say the best in the league, and I think that the Bills will easily be able to have their way, and that they'll win.
Now, they did just basically make it a Browns home game by putting it in Detroit, though, because to drive from Buffalo to Detroit...
Bills fans show out.
Bills fans do show out, but, I mean, that's a long drive, because you can't go through Canada. They won't let you through.
Oh,
another one.
Here's another weird white square in the back. I know, this one looks even worse.
And everything. Getty images go crazy.
Panthers at Ravens.
Panthers at Ravens. As much as I would love the Ravens to lose, and I really don't care if the Panthers win, I'd love the Ravens to lose. I can't even describe to you how much I'd love for the Ravens to lose. But Panthers, I'm sorry, but you're starting Baker Mayfield, who has not really shown up against the Ravens in his entire career. And in addition to that, the Ravens are just a really good football team. So I'm going to have to go Ravens.
Yeah. I'm rooting for the Panthers.
Oh, it's almost like he stole my lines.
And I told myself, I was thinking about what I was going to say in the car because I was like, this is what I'll say. So I'm rooting for the Panthers. Do I think that they'll win? Probably not. But I will be all for them winning. What makes it interesting is Mark Andrews listed as questionable, and Lamar Jackson is listed as questionable because he was out yesterday at practice with an illness. But they did say that he is expected to play, but it is something to monitor. There's a chance that their two best players, one of them being their superstar quarterback, doesn't play.
It's not like their backup's too terrible either, though.
Yeah, but I think obviously if Lamar doesn't play, we have a way more of an advantage.
You obviously have an advantage if your starter isn't playing, but their backup is literally just a slightly shorter version of Lamar Jackson.
But personally, I think Lamar will play, so I don't think we will win. However, it's interesting because the Panthers have a shot here not to win this game. I mean, if they win the game, I'm all for it. I'm rooting for them. But if they do perform well and put on a good showcase and win, Lamar's a free agent after this offseason. Prove to Lamar and be like, oh, this Panthers team doesn't have a quarterback. They got a good defense that shut me down. Their receivers are good. Their running game is good. Their O-line is good. Maybe I want to go there.
Are you willing to pay the $8 billion
I don't care.
he wants?
For a quarterback, I'm willing to give anything because we haven't had that in a while. So I'm saying, put on a showcase and say, Lamar, look at us. Come here next year. And he's like, huh, yeah. It's just an interesting thought. Obviously, it's not likely to happen, but it's an interesting thought to maybe...
The Ravens will sign him after this year.
I think so too.
There's no way.
But you can always hope. There's always.
You can hope.
Yeah, you can hope.
You know.
So yeah, we're both gonna go Ravens. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong, but
will the legend of Jeff Saturday continue? Is this Eagles at Colts? Did you get this one right? Who knows? You don't know. And this is what happens when Debbie leaves. So this is Eagles.
No,
and Colts.
it is Eagles at Colts. Yeah.
Okay, so this is Eagles Colts. This is kind of Jeff Saturday's like, how good you gonna play here, man? So it's like if you put up a good showing, it's like, okay, that's pretty interesting. You might not be as bad as everyone thought you might be. Because last week was kind of just like a free win. You could put like a chimpanzee back there, and he'd probably call the right plays to beat the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens here. Obviously, the Eagles coming off their first loss of the year.
They're going to be upset.
So they're going to be upset, which is probably, the worst case scenario for the Colts, because the Ravens are going to come in. They're going to be mad.
Eagles.
I'm sorry.
You said Ravens.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Eagles are going to be mad. They're going to be upset. They're going to come in and they're going to be like, man, everyone's thinking that we're fakes now.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. They're going to come in there and they're going to like drop as many points as they possibly can, which is great for me because A.J. Brown, after scoring literally less than 2 points last week in fantasy, will hopefully go crazy this week.
I'm playing against him.
Yeah, it's
to be.
so I'm going to have to go Eagles. Obviously, they're the better team. At the beginning of the year, you would have said that this game was going to be good. But after seeing how the year has progressed, it's obviously not that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone's saying, oh, this just proves the Eagles are flukes. They had an easy schedule to go undefeated, and now they're showing that they're flukes. They're still a great team. I don't think they're a fluke. No team, there's a reason only one team has ever gone undefeated, because it's very hard to do.
They only won 12 games.
Right. No matter how...
Point that out for the 8 billionth time out there.
No matter how good your roster is, you're going to lose games. There's going to be fluke games and stuff like that. So they're not a fake, but everyone's saying they're fake. They're obviously going to be upset about that, like you said. So I think that they will go and steamroll the Colts. I think Jeff Saturday is a decent coach. I mean, granted, he only beat the Raiders, who, like you said, you could put anything back there to beat them. But I do have the Eagles winning. But it'll be interesting to see how Jeff Saturday does, for sure.
I'm excited.
I'm awful. I like the fact of him. I would love the fact of him going 2-0. One of his wins being the number 1 seed Eagles, but I don't think it's gonna.
I actually currently have a bet going right now with someone that Jeff Saturday will not have a job in the NFL next year.
You said he will or won't?
I said that he will not have a coaching job in the NFL.
Who said he will? Was it Daniel the Camel?
It was not. It was Mr. King.
What?
I bet dinner on it, so let's see what happens. I'm looking forward to my dinner. Oh my goodness.
The battle of the white squares in the background. Debbie didn't have the Jets logo or the Patriots logo on the slideshow for preference. But Jets at Patriots. What are we thinking here? Jets played them earlier this season, and the Jets were on a roll, and then they got blown out. And then they've been on a roll since.
Been on a roll since then. So my gut initially says Jets. They've been good. They've been really showing potential for this last part of the season. Really making a push to make the playoffs. They're obviously in a really tough division with Miami and Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty tough division to be in.
If the playoffs started right now, all 4 of those teams would be in the playoffs.
That is kind of crazy.
The Jets would be the 2 seed, the Patriots would be the 7 seed, the Dolphins would be the 1 seed, and the Bills would be the 6 seed.
That's kind of crazy.
Insane.
This AFC East team is kind of what we thought the AFC West was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the case. So, they say that divisional matchups count for 2, which they do. I'm going to go Patriots. My gut does initially say Jets, and I do want to pick the Jets, but Bill Belichick has had the Jets number for all 8,000 years he's been alive, and I think that he's going to continue, and he'll have a great scheme to shut down the Jets and pull out another win.
Flashback to 10 minutes before we recorded. I was setting up the slideshow, and Austin yells to me and says, "You can't pick the Jets. The Jets are my team. I'm picking the Jets." And I was like, okay. And I was like debating like in my head Patriots, but I said I won't pick the same team as you for this one. I do think the Jets will win this game. They are more talented. The Jets do have the better, or not the Jets. The Patriots do have the better coach. They scheme very well against the Jets, but they have been on a roll aside from one game. I think they're like, that game, we just can't get the Patriots have our number, and they really want to turn that tide. They haven't beaten the Patriots in who knows how long, and they really just want to, like, they have the talent in the roster to be able to do that, and I think that they can finally beat the Patriots. I do think that they're the better team.
I think so too. I think they're not, like, talent-wise, they are the better team. I think this game might come down to coaching, and in that case, gonna have to go Patriots.
I mean, the quarterbacks are very even. The running backs, I think you got to give the edge. Actually, they're pretty even as well.
Pretty even on there too.
Wide receivers, I think Jets got that, and then the defenses are pretty even. So it's gonna be a good game, but I think the Jets can pull it out.
It'll be fun.
Wait, Austin, did you pick Patriots or Jets?
Patriots. Hey, back to normal size. All right, so here we have the
Rams.
well, I was gonna say the Tank Bowl.
Oh,
That's
okay.
really what this is.
Well, no.
It's the Tank Bowl, except that one of these teams doesn't feel like they should be tanking yet.
Because they don't have picks.
Well, no, it's the Tank Bowl, but the Rams don't have a first-round pick, I believe,
Mm-mm.
and neither do the Saints.
Right, so it's a Tank Bowl for nothing, because they really should just be selling out to try to win every single game, but unfortunately they both suck at doing that. So this is Rams Saints. I don't know who to pick. I really don't. Cooper Kupp was my wide receiver 1, my first overall pick in one of the fantasy leagues we're in.
Yeah.
And he went ahead and decided to destroy my hopes of putting up, honestly, like a 12-2 record going into the playoffs. Like, I was on pace for a 12-2 record heading into those playoffs. And then he went ahead and had to go roll his ankle, which means, you know,
Yeah.
no more wide receiver 1 for me, and no one will accept my trades for him because, like, he's
Who
not
knew
coming
when,
back.
when you
Who
have a
knew?
player who's out for the year, they don't want him.
Who knew, man? I mean, he could come back. I don't know. It sucks. I don't know what I'm gonna do with him. I might just cut him, pick up someone else. It's an unfortunate situation we have over there on my team. So I'm pretty down about that. But you know, now it's like, well, who do the Rams throw to? Matt Stafford has been only throwing to Cooper Kupp, and Matt Stafford hasn't been looking good, and the whole organization hasn't been looking good.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side of the ball, we have
The Saints.
the Saints, who have just been the worst. We feel like, I think we can both agree, Jameis Winston should probably come back at this point.
Well, it's either him because he's finally healthy, quote unquote.
He's never actually healthy.
He's never actually hurt. They just benched him, I think. But I think he is starting this week. It's between him and Dalton to see. Just they'll figure it out this weekend. But I think that he will start. But I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters either. I don't know who to pick. I really don't. Can I?
Call the tie.
I might, dude. I might, man. I don't know.
There's like no % chance of that happening.
There's
but
no percentage.
I mean, the Saints, they are really in like a very tough spot, and I love it as a Panthers fan. I was listening to a Panthers podcast on the way here that I listened to, and they were saying how much they love the Saints situation right now because they're one of the worst teams in the league. Alvin Kamara is getting really old up in age. Mike Thomas is probably gone. They don't have a quarterback. Their head coach is not Sean Payton anymore, and they're losing all these games. And instead of like, yeah, you're losing all these teams, at least you have a high pick to look forward to. They traded their high pick to the Eagles, so now their top 5 pick is going to go to the Eagles, and they just are going to be stuck with the same team that they had. Oh, and keep in mind they're also minus 60 under the cap, minus 60 million under the cap, or over the cap, I mean.
Yeah.
So they're in a awful
How can you be
situation.
How can you be 60 million over?
Like, I don't understand how.
And
Like,
have
what's
a
the
bad
point
roster.
of what's the point of a salary cap if you can go under so much and like there's no punishment? You know, like I don't really understand. They're just gonna work to get it up. Like, what's the point? If there's a salary cap, you shouldn't be able to go under it. You know?
Well, it's a cap, which you can't go over.
Yeah, and
You can go under that.
and they've gone over by 60 million.
Yeah, I don't
understand.
I don't think they're over yet. They'll be over for next year.
No, they
though.
are. So I don't understand how. Or
can't
you're
be.
right. No,
They'll
you're
be over
yeah.
for
No,
next
you're
year.
right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, so they'll have to renegotiate contracts or cut players or
Yeah.
trade them or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, for this game, I do think the Rams are the better team, are the better coach. The Saints are just in shambles, and I think the Rams. It's not going to be not going to be pretty at all. But I think the Rams will win.
I have to side with you on this one. It really hurts me because I don't want to pick the same teams as you because I really need to get my numbers up. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to get the numbers up by picking crappy teams and hoping they win because the Saints, I've picked them like 2 weeks in a row now because they played like
the Steelers.
They played the Steelers, and then whoever they played the week before was just like
the Cardinals, I think.
Yeah, the Cardinals. That's what it was. And I was like, you know what? Both of these teams are kind of in shambles, so I'll go with the Saints. They should be a good organization to pick. I was wrong. They're not.
You know what else you were wrong of? Picking them to win the division.
No, I was really wrong about that one. Yeah, that was my bad on that. I should have picked the Bucks. Would have been a safe bet. Who would have thought the Falcons? But I'm gonna go Rams too, because this is going to be the Thursday night game. Broncos Colts. That's what this game is going to be. It's going to be ugly. Yeah.
So we both got Rams. Could go either way, or not really. I mean,
not really either way.
It's just like who cares? This game's going to be on tomorrow. Oh. Final score of like 12-6.
It'd be crazy if that was the score. Only field goals.
Did we skip one or no? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, we did not. All right,
we're good. All right. So this is Lions and New York Giants. I forgot that there's like 5 New York teams.
5 New York teams.
So this one's also a little difficult for me because the Lions have been hot these last 2 weeks. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, I
okay.
I agree.
Lions have been hot the last 2 weeks, and the Giants have been kind of hot all year. Unfortunately, the Giants were the only team this year to lose a bye week, so that kind of sucked for them.
What?
Well, they had the one player who's in an ATV accident and like shattered his wrist. You know that?
Who?
Swellen, can you look that one up? I forget the name of the player.
Wait, who?
The Giants player. I think it was maybe a corner.
Was he good?
He was pretty good.
I did not hear
this.
He was
a starter. Yeah, he was in an ATV accident over the bye week and messed up his wrist.
That sucks.
Yeah, so they were the first team to lose the bye week this week.
No, besides
Robinson.
That sounds about right.
No.
Knee injury?
Wait, no, that was week 4.
Never mind, it's not that. It's not that.
Oh, the safety is out a few weeks. Xavier McKinney.
Oh, he's good. Xavier McKinney.
Yeah.
That does suck.
Yeah. I mean, that was like obviously 2 weeks ago now that their bye week was, but we didn't point it out, and I thought it was funny, so I wanted to point it out again.
Funny.
I mean, it's funny.
You know what I think was funny? Myles Garrett getting an accident.
I mean, Myles Garrett was fine, and the Porsche 911 was not fine. But, I mean, this guy's fine. He just hurt his wrist. It's big deal. He'll be back. Come on, you don't need your wrist to play football. This one is tough for me. I'm going to go with the Giants. I'm going to go Giants. I'm not super confident in the pick. Like, I'm not saying like the Giants are going to win and it's like undoubted in my mind. It's like, I think the Giants will win, but I think it'll be close and I hope it's a good game.
Mm-hmm. I think both of the New York teams kind of are in similar situations where they've never been good and they're finally good again. And everyone's like, is this team good? Is this team not good? And they play a weird style of football where they're not blowing teams out, but they're just doing enough to win.
It's the Vikings style.
Right. But I think if the Giants and the Jets played each other, I think the Jets win. I think the Jets are the better team. I believe in the Jets a lot more than I believe in the Giants. I never, ever want to have that conversation again, but I believe in the Jets a lot more than the Giants. And I'm just not sold on the Giants team. I mean, they haven't played an incredible schedule. They've won some good games, but
yeah. I
mean, last week, who'd they play? The Texans, and they won by 7. And it's like, if you're, what are they, 8-2, 7-1? Like they're a pretty good record. You should be easily winning these games, and but they're barely winning. And I'm like I get it, that's their style of football, but I just don't believe in that style of football. And then the Lions, they're on a 2-game winning streak. They're kind of on a roll. They're kind of hot, and they're fun to watch. I believe in them more than the Giants. I mean, 99% of the time, you're gonna look at the Lions game, look at a Giants game, and you're gonna be like, okay, this team's going to win, this team's going to lose. But, the way that they play, I just like the Lions' way. I think that they'll be able to make sure that the Giants, they're going to make it a high-scoring game, and the Giants just aren't that. They're muck it down, make it a boring game, and win.
Yeah. That's interesting that you say that, because if you were to ask me, describe the Lions' style of play, I would say take the Giants and the Vikings style of play, where it's like it's really close, except that the Lions lose every one of those. That's how I would describe the Lions style.
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens. I think it'll be an interesting game. It'll be a good game. I wouldn't mind. I mean, obviously, I'd mind because I picked the Giants, but I wouldn't mind if the Lions came out and started playing like the offense we saw in the first couple weeks, where they're really slinging the ball around.
Mhm.
That'd be fun. But I don't think it's going to be that way. I think it'll be an interesting game.
I mean,
It'll be a
Giants
close
still
game.
have a good defense. I think that they'll be
Yeah.
able to stop them a little bit, but I mean, apparently now Xavier McKinney's out, which is a pretty good safety, which I mean hurts. But
Yeah.
Lions continue to get healthier. DeAndre Swift is getting more healthy every week and getting better. I think that they'll win. I mean, it's gonna be a good game regardless.
Yeah.
You said Lions.
No, I said Lions. He said Giants.
Okay.
He's listening. Good
He's
back there.
listening.
Trying to enter a draw for some sneakers.
All right. Football team and
We are 11
Texans.
weeks into the season. We should probably start calling them.
I don't know who this we is that you're referring to, but I will refer to them as the football team until the day I die. At the minute that I say, their actual name, I'm going to go ahead and resign from the podcast. That's a joke. I will not be doing that. I enjoy this too much. At the end of the day, for this game, gonna go football team. I mean, look, if you're good enough to beat the Eagles, you're good enough to beat anyone. And, Heineke celebrated getting hit on that kneel down like he won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was their Super Bowl, bro. They beat the undefeated Eagles.
You know what? Go for it. Good for them, man. Divisional game and everything. Go for it. I'm going to go football team.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Heineke is the most swagged out white boy since Kirk Cousins a week ago.
Facts. It's facts.
I mean, Taylor Heineke has completely revived this team.
He has. Carson Wentz should
they
not
were-
come back and play.
There's a 0% chance that I think that he comes back and plays and starts. They were 1-4 with Wentz. He comes back and they've won. They're what now? 5-4,
Yeah.
5. They're looking great, and they're playing the Texans now. I mean, Texans. We both said Texans are better than their record shows. Dameon Pierce is their entire team, and he's a very good
It's
running
the
back.
offense, yeah.
But I don't think that he's good enough to beat Washington.
He's not like a Derrick Henry where you can have
Yeah.
him beat an entire team on his own.
And on top of all that, Chase Young comes back this week. So I just add that to Washington's hype.
Right. And
I think-
Dameon Pierce's inability to then
Yeah.
break through the line in
Mhm.
some of those runs. So.
Yeah. So I think Washington wins this one pretty handily. They looked really good lately. And I think it'll continue.
I agree.
Not much to say.
Let's get some disagreements in here.
Yeah, seriously, we've agreed on all the same. So I don't know what this next game is. We can
Well, you guys both said Commanders.
yes.
Football team.
Football.
No, I unfortunately I don't think there's gonna be a disagreement on this one.
I don't either. Man. Flashback to the last time these two teams played, and I'm pretty sure I picked Raiders, and I'm pretty sure you picked Raiders, because, there's no way that the Broncos win, because the Broncos are just,
worst.
the worst. Talk about disappointing teams this year.
The battle of who disappointed their teams more.
Unfortunately, I think that the Raiders are going to win that battle, because while the Broncos have been disappointing, they've actually managed to win games, a couple of them.
But while they've also been disappointing, they didn't pay their new quarterback
It's true.
$247 million.
Kirk didn't break the bank to pay a quarterback that's turned into biggest boss.
Last week you said if the Broncos would have just scored 18 points in their game in each of one of their games, they would be 8-1.
Yeah.
And last year they Drew Lock as their quarterback. Do you know how many points they averaged?
18.
22. If they had Drew Lock, they would be 8-1.
That's kind of crazy.
Bro, that is so
And Drew Lock
sad.
is worth a Subway sandwich.
Oh gosh, that was a nice joke.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's crazy how bad the Broncos have been, how bad Russell Wilson has been. It is sad that I'm considering this game. I don't know what to pick. Because every single week I say the Raiders are going to turn around. They're not going to turn it around. They suck. We know who they are. They're not good. But every bad team will go and win a game here or there. And the Broncos aren't a good team. Neither are the Raiders.
Nope.
But division games are the games that anything can happen. Also, out of any game, you're going to win a division game rather than a random out-of-conference game. Man, I got a weird feeling the Raiders are going to win. I'm going to say it. Raiders will win.
Hey, you know what? I can't knock you for the take because at the beginning of the year, we would have thought that we would really be scrutinizing every one of these AFC West games. We're like, oh man, who's going to win this one? It's a toss-up every week. Unfortunately, we're scrutinizing the AFC West games
for the other reason.
Because we're like, oh man, which team is going to lose, not which team is going to win. So I can't knock you for the take. I am going to go Broncos. For no other reason than the Raiders haven't looked as good as the Broncos have. Well, they've both looked bad.
Yeah. If we could pull up, like, at the end of the season, if we could do some stat, it's like the teams that we picked that disappointed the most, like, we picked the Raiders X amount of times, and when we picked them, they got X amount of games. Like, they won X amount of games and lost X amount of games. If we pulled up the stats for the Raiders, it'd probably be like, we picked them 12 times and they won once or something stupid. Like, they've disappointed their fans, they've disappointed us. I mean, they're just completely
They've disappointed everyone but their owner.
Apparently, he's saying, "Oh, things are working." You know, Josh McDaniels is great.
This is exactly what I wanted.
But I do think that they'll win because the Broncos, man, they're not it either.
It's true. We'll see what happens. But as of now, let's ride.
So yeah, I got Raiders. He's got Broncos. Ooh, this game is interesting now.
This will be a good one.
Cowboys at Minnesota.
Minnesota is going to be playing 2 good games in a row. Hopefully 2 good games in a row.
2 good teams they're playing in a row.
There you go.
There we go.
2 good teams in a row. Hopefully it'll turn into a good game.
Yeah.
This one's also really tough,
It is a tough one. I mean, last game was tough because it's 2 awful teams. This one's tough because it's 2 good teams.
Yeah.
I'd like this more than the...
I do too. This one's a lot more exciting to pick. That one was just depressing. I just got sad. For this one, I'm gonna go with Kirk Thuggins and
Kirk Thuggins. I love that.
And Jay Jefferson. I gotta go with it. Cowboys defense has been electric. It's been fun to watch. I do love a good defense, so that's been fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, if you can lose to Green Bay, you can lose to anyone. So
that's true.
So I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
It is tough. I mean, apparently the Vikings left tackle is like rated the best left tackle in the NFL this year, and he is supposed to be out tomorrow or Sunday, whatever the game's being played. Yeah. And apparently the guy behind them is like some rookie who's not good, which
sounds like holding calls.
Sounds like holding calls, and sounds like Micah Parsons will run through him. But at the same time, like you said, they lost to the Cowboys. They can lose to anyone. And the Vikings just beat the Bills. Justin Jefferson, if you're losing, just throw it up to him. He will catch it.
As we've seen.
I'm also going Vikings.
Yeah.
Like, after what they did last week and how great of a game it was and how just they came back, dramatically won. I can't pick against them. It might be just recency bias. But I can't root against them. They're hot. They're very hot. They've won like 7 or 8 in a row.
They've won 7 in a row.
Plus, it's in Minnesota. Right, it's in Minnesota.
In Minnesota, it's a big
deal. That is a
too.
big thing. It's in a dome, so that place is going to be rocking. I'm going Vikings. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm super excited for it, but...
I hope it's a good game. This should be a fun one.
There's a lot of like playoff aspirations too. Maybe not for the Vikings. Maybe trying to get that 1 seed from the Eagles.
Right. But the Vikings have already locked up a playoff spot.
Yeah, they're going to win.
They're going to win the division. They'll definitely make the playoffs because the NFC's in shambles right now.
But for sure for the Cowboys, because them and the Giants, the Eagles, I mean, you could say Washington, but they started far away. So the Giants and the Eagles are fighting for the for a playoff spot than for winning that division. And this is a big game for them to try to continue to take control, I guess you could say. But yeah, it'll be good. I'm really looking forward to it.
It'll be a fun one.
And then this game, Bengals and Steelers.
Yeah,
week one was
divisional game.
Yeah, there's a lot of division games this week. This game, week one, was very odd. No one wanted to win.
Nope.
It was like, here, we want you guys to win. Kicker misses. Oh no, we want you guys. Kicker misses. Please, we want to start 0-1. No, we do. Let's just tie. No, we'll fine. But like,
no, fine. I guess
we'll win.
I don't know.
So it's interesting. I don't see a way that the Steelers win. Every single time one of us says it on the show, that team goes and wins. So maybe they will win now, but I really don't see a way that Kenny Pickett's going to go and keep pace with this Bengals team. Last time we saw them, they scored like 54 points.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bengals are good. Obviously, they don't have Jamar Chase still.
Should be back next week.
He should be back next week. But as of this week, they still don't have him. But that's fine because you still have a pretty solid receiving core. So it doesn't really matter. You still basically have the receiving core of every other team in the NFL. And it's the Steelers. Like, for the last couple of years, the Bengals have kind of just stomped on the Steelers every time they meet, especially with Joe Burrow. So I'm going to have to go Bengals as well. Not so sorry, Steelers. I'm really happy to see you guys.
I'm not so sorry.
losing.
I didn't know what you were saying. Yeah. I mean, they've performed better than I thought they've been. Like they would be. I mean, when they started the season, I was like, this team might win one game. Like they're not good.
Fortunately, they decided to put Kenny Pickett in, which kind of...
Yeah, they've won, like, 3 or 4 games. Like, they've impressed. They haven't looked good, but they've impressed, I guess you could say. Like, they're not the Seahawks or the or the Bears, like, a team that, like, completely changed all the narratives. But they have impressed. So, I don't think they're as good as the Bengals, obviously, but...
Yeah. Looking like Mike Tomlin's going to have his first losing season since 2003.
Incredible.
All right, so this is the Sunday night game. Chargers with double Sunday nights, double primetime slots, so don't disappoint.
This game was flexed into the Sunday night.
Right.
Yeah.
This wasn't supposed to be.
It was supposed to be
a couple weeks ago.
It was supposed to be the Bengals and the Steelers Sunday night, but they moved that one to 4 and this one to 1.
Yeah.
So, I meant 8.
Right.
Yeah, not 1.
Right. We all know what you meant. For this game, I don't think it's going to be relatively close. I'm not going to lie. I think that the Chiefs take this one solidly. I don't think it's going to be a runaway, but I think solidly Chiefs win.
It hurts because...
You say it almost every week. Go ahead, say it again.
No, I love the Chargers.
There it is.
Justin Herbert is a good quarterback. I don't care what Harold Mansfield says. I don't care what my dad says. I don't care what you say. He is a good quarterback. He's been dealing with injuries. He's been throwing the ball to Josh Palmer, Gerald Everett. Yeah, exactly. Who? Gerald Everett, and I couldn't tell you who else. Austin Eckler is a running back. That doesn't count. Like, he should have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams back, but they won't be 100%. He's still not 100%. And this Chiefs team is just incredible. I mean, no matter if they're down by 40, I'm still confident that they'll come back because they have Mahomes. It's like you physically can't ever at any point in the game be like, they're going to lose.
Nope. I don't care how much time's left on the clock. If there is any time on the clock, there is still a chance that
I mean, look back to the Bills game last playoff. 13 seconds left, Bills score. Oh my gosh. Bills are moving on. Nope. They go down. 2 plays, get in field goal range, go to overtime and win. Like, it's just never over for this team. So because of that, I am going Chiefs. I would love the Chargers to win, but I don't think the receivers are going to be full go. I still think Herbert's stinked up, and they got to fire their coach because he's not good.
There's a lot of teams that have to fire their coach after this year.
It's going to be a lot of that at the end of the season, but I'm going Chiefs.
Maybe one of us will get hired.
Oh. Jeff Saturday did it. He was sitting on his couch.
We're sitting in Debbie's basement. We'll just
I'll go coach. I'll go coach the Titans. Give it to Derrick Henry. Go.
Give it to Henry. Let's go. All right, then this will be the Monday night game. 49ers Cardinals.
It's in Mexico City.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's rocking like Germany was. That'd be kind of fun. Look, Cardinals. It's not going to be close. I don't know if there are any Cardinals fans that still exist out there, or if there ever were Cardinals fans that existed.
The Cardinals are playing the Bears.
Mm-mm.
Who's playing the Bears?
The Bears are playing the. We talked about it.
Lions.
No, they played last week. Last week.
But why am I forgetting the Bears are playing?
Bears are playing the Falcons. We talked about that
Oh, that's
first.
right.
Yeah.
Bears
I'm
Falcons.
tripping. That's my bad.
Yeah. Seahawks or not Seahawks.
Oh man,
Man, we are falling apart. Niners,
I'm
Cardinals.
looking like Debbie.
Niners Cardinals. Cardinals fans, like I was saying, no. 49ers win.
Yeah. I mean 49ers win as well. I think that they'll easily get it. I don't understand why they don't give it to McCaffrey more. Literally,
I
they
don't either.
traded
They traded an arm and a leg.
Yes, they traded every single one of their picks for him. And they gave the ball to Elijah Mitchell more than McCaffrey last week.
Doesn't make a whole lot
That
of sense
is
to
one of
me.
the dumbest things I've ever seen. You're trading all this away for your superstar running back, a top 2 running back in the league. Let's give it to this guy more. It makes total sense. But they did get the win. I think regardless they win, they have too many weapons. They got Kittle, they got Debo, they got McCaffrey, they got Elijah Mitchell, they got Brandon Ayuk. They do have Jimmy
too many
Garoppolo.
weapons. How do you give them to all of them?
They
I
do
think
have
that's
Jimmy
gonna be the biggest
Garoppolo, which
problem.
holds them back. But Jimmy Garoppolo is 10-2 in games when he doesn't throw a touchdown.
Really? I feel like he should throw touchdowns less.
Like, how does that happen? You don't throw a touchdown and you're 10-2. You don't just have a winning record. You're way above a winning record. It's crazy. He gets carried. But, yeah, Niners win this one pretty soundly. For sure. Call of Duty is still released. Kyler Murray is still playing. Will be a blowout.
Yeah. For sure.
Not much else to say. But, I mean, I'm looking forward. I can't believe that we're already 11 weeks into the season.
I can't either. It's making me sad.
Like, it's actually, I feel like this is how it is every year. Like, all of a sudden, I'm so excited for the games, and I watch the games, and I'm so excited for the next week, and I get there, and I'm so excited, and all of a sudden, I look, and I'm like, how are we already, we only have 5 weeks left. Like it's, like, Thanksgiving week is this week. There's going to be the 3 games on Thursday.
Yeah. Which the NFL was smart about not giving those games to Amazon.
Oh, they make so much bank
so
on
much
that.
money.
I think that the
Thanksgiving
Amazon
games.
has the night game.
Do they?
Like the 8:30 game, but no one really cares because everyone's like at home, like passed out after eating so much food. So like
Yeah.
the tradition is everyone turns on the Lions game at noon, and then they turn on the Cowboys game at 4,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh yeah, this is like a part of Thanksgiving. And then the night game, it's different every year. They're like, all right, and they're like, Amazon, you can have that. No one cares.
Okay, get out of there.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this is. Oh my goodness. What do we have going on there in the left hand
Yeah,
corner?
let's cover
Ignore that.
So we got 1, 2, 3 disagreements.
Hey, we're getting up there in the disagreements. Let's go,
That
guys.
means someone's gonna gain 1 spot this week.
Yeah, let's go. Hopefully that's me. I need to gain ground.
Am I missing a game?
I don't.
Because I was
I
looking
think
through
so.
all of them, and I don't think I was, but we had one less game than last week.
Well, because
Another team-
buys. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
We'll
I
just
know.
assume it's right.
If we're wrong, it's all Sue Ellen's fault.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
No, it's Debbie's fault for not being here.
That's facts.
Facts. I'm glad it's
That's
on.
always
Baby.
Debbie's fault.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what we have. Go ahead, let us know what you agree, disagree with. As always, like I say every time, 100% right, guaranteed. Even on the ones we disagree with,
Even though Austin's below 500.
I'm always right, 100% guaranteed. That's why I make bets for an entire season away, because I'm always right.
That's why we get paid $0 for this podcast.
That could change. You too could sponsor.
That's what I was about to say. At Goldfish.
Right.
Sponsor.
Anyways, this was our Week 11 Pick'ems. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching another episode of K&A Football. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and you can listen to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
If you want to listen to our last video, literally just click our page and go to it. You're already on the page. It's not that hard. Just go find it. Peace.